Part 5. The moment that I've been waiting for. That's a pole sinker. Pole sinker. They're gonna move that pole down. Yep. She's gonna be coming now. He's dead, Jim. And there's the truck that is gonna carry it to the scrapyard. They're gonna drop it in that bed down there. They're gonna drop the old one in that bed down there. In that truck. So, you know, a banging sound is gonna be heard when it falls. Now talk about service. They came in a short amount of time that I was off. Now that's service. Now that is service. Disconnecting the wires on these cutouts. Turn those off. There's a guy over there to catch it. Whoa, he's in range. I gave him room at least. Oh, he was given room. There we go. It's getting removed. Put insulators on those. Insulators going on the wires. Who knows? Maybe he'll turn it back on. Taking the bolts out. Big old street light down there too. Ooh. Leaf drop. Two men working together. That's how I like it. Taking the bolts out. Nuts off of there. The new one comes with new nuts and bolts on it. Hope there's no mishap with this. They gotta catch it as soon as it comes off there. Drop it into the flatbed truck below. These are fun. Yeah, that tree over here is nearly dead, too. But that's not the one that caused the fire. They were given room. Here comes the drill. The guy gotta hold it. The guy gotta hold it. Gotta be careful. Drop it on the wrong thing and we won't have power for an additional couple days. What are they for? There we go. They have an extra one. This is where I white one I gotta measure. Now the pole looks weird without the transformer on it. I wonder if they're gonna bypass it or something. I drop in the flatbed below. Yeah. Looks weird without one. Wow. Looks weird without one, I mean, that's for sure. Maybe they'll try turning it on without it. Who knows? Yeah. I think the next question would be, will it work without it? Yeah, those insulators are there because, you know, transformer was there, right? So technically, you know, when they bypass transformers, they put those on there. But I'll have to see if they're bypassing it or not. Because if they are, then we'll have to wait for a new one to come. Which means another shut-off will be needed. Yep, there it is. Yeah, there's the new one. It's a little different. New one going in. I can finally shut this generator off. If it doesn't go boom again. Of course, it's gotta get time to warm up too. There it is. Just like that. Slides on. Slides right on there. Flathead. Now to connect the wires. Insulators. Here come the wires. Connecting them to the fuse cutouts. And of course, after that, when they connect everything, the moment of truth, then the moment of truth. Yeah, there's the old one, taking it away. Got the new one up. Smaller. I notice how much smaller it is. It's smaller. Well, who knows? Maybe it'll be better. It's smaller. Maybe should cut all those branches there. Alright, it's connecting the leads to the fuse cutout switches. You know, the moment of truth. Hopefully we'll be in part 7, part 6. We're in part 5 right now, which is removal of the old transformer and installation of the new one. Definitely smaller than the other one. Yep, leads are connected on top. Might hear a pop, might hear something. If it's successful, you know, won't be able to, you know, not going to hear anything. If it's successful, the power will just turn on. Yes, he's got the insulators on there in case something happens. Yeah, they couldn't bypass this one like they did with the one across that field. Mainly because this required more power. So they had to immediately replace it. Unlike the one back in 2020 that was up. Throwing the service lines. Making sure the service connections are tight. We're almost there. We're almost to where we can see the moment of truth. Will it work? We're almost to where if it will work or not. The fuse guy should be coming after this. And putting fuses in. I think that's the fuse guy walking over there. Guy who pushes the fuses in. Oh yeah, there's a ground right there. It's grounding it. There's the ground wire. There's the ground wire. Yeah, all new transformers are required to be grounded now, so maybe they'll have more stable voltage. So, putting the ground on it. You know what that wire is? That's a ground wire. As transformers built after the 1960s, are required to be grounded. So I believe that old one was a 1950s transformer, because that one wasn't grounded. This one is going to be grounded, because they're putting ground on it. So I think with that ground, we're going to have more stable voltage now too. You know, there's two leads, and that's hot and neutral. There's a primary and secondary side. The secondary side is that wire that goes to those three connectors. So he's installing the ground wire. So I guess we're going to have more stable voltage with this. So the ground wire is going on. Just put the ground on. That's a ground. That wire coming out of it is a ground wire. On the bottom there, that's the ground. And they're going to ground those connections. Because, you know, what happens without a ground? It's more likely to fail without a ground. You know, the old one did not have a ground. This one has a ground. So we have a ground wire on here. So, yeah, installing the ground. It's got a ground wire. This one is grounded. So they're putting that on a ground. So they're hooking that up to ground. Thing running down there is for ground. But the old one never had a ground wire on it. Huh. I wonder why the old one failed. Didn't have a ground. This one has a ground on it. May work a lot better with that now. We will have a better voltage. We will have more voltage. You know, a good amount of voltage. You know, the usual normal 120. That's relatively stable. Here we go. Fuses are going in. Moment of truth. Are you ready? Moment of truth. The moment of truth will be here soon. A meter. Yeah, a meter. Looks like a meter. So you're going to use that to measure continuity. Something going through that wire as it's hooked up to those. Looks like a continuity meter. Now I gotta make sure it's good before they can hook it up to those 3 wires. All right, moment of truth. Will it work? One, two. So that was successful. Now the leads are going to get hooked up. So that was successful. Transformer is alive. He pushed those in and it works. So let's go on with, as soon as he's done with this, then we'll move on to part 7. Then we'll move on to part 6, where we see the moment of truth. No power yet. Alright, you're gonna take those things off. This is it for part 5.